With the major over and the responses to my community posts, I thought it would be time to look at some of the individual performances from the PGL Major. Today, we're going to take a look at Simple vs Gambit, where Simple racked up a quiet 2.26 HLTV rating. This is an impressive rating, one of the highest across the event, and the best part is that this was a quiet game for Simple regarding his CT side action, and even quieter on the T side. I'll explain what I mean later in the video, but let's take a look at a few things we can learn on his CT side of this match. The first thing that I want to highlight across his CT is the frequency that they managed to keep the economy in favour of themselves, thus resulting in Simple just always having the AWP for him. Yes, a pretty basic concept, but something very key to making sure Simple can perform at his highest level, especially during the major. If you're a confident and effective AWPer, it will only naturally lead to more kills on your behalf, the more often you have the AWP in your hand. Another reason why we're going to take a look at this match today is that his CT half did not necessarily need the whole team of 5 to help him orchestrate his pushes and holds mid-round. With a few 3-man set pieces that Na'Vi threw in that I found really interesting and that you may want to try it for yourself. For example, we have this play here out of Simple where he will nade top mid and then watch underpass straight away, with Electronic supporting him holding his top middle, while Simple holds Electronic's underpass, playing each other's flanks and technically anti-flashed for each other, depending on what is going to get pushed. Although in this round it does not find success for Simple, we can take a look at Gambit's map pressure in other rounds to see if they threw this in earlier, would it have got them kills, and yes, it would have. But on round 14, we do get to see how this setup from Simple allows Electronic to sweep up some kills top mid, and then showcases how we can quickly rotate over to B if an apt pop occurs, which in this round it does. Another push you may want to try, that also does not find success where it would have in another round, is this Palace push from Simple. We all know this is a simple and easy aggressive line to take, and here is a demonstration of the timing where again a T would be here and it could likely get Simple a kill. What I want to highlight is his retreat, this protocol with his teammate Boomich that gets Simple to a safer location where he thinks he will now be more effective in the round as there was no Palace pressure. The information gathered on this push though allows Electronic to rotate into B at the perfect time. As Electronic notes the small presence mid as well, this could only mean the team are setting up outside of A ramp or outside of B, where A is already going to be fine because of Simple's push in Palace, and therefore Electronic should back off to watch B. Even Bit gets enough time to rotate in to assist before a smoke plumes, highlighting the information play made out of Simple and equally Electronic. In round 3, before Simple gets a hand on his AWP, we can see one way in which he would hold mid if he had the M4, making the cat jump and watching top mid. He does eventually begin to lose out to a Deagle, so he backs off, but he leaves this interesting cat lurk smoke that forces the Ts to push middle a bit more conservatively. In this time, he rotates and trades guns with Bit, allowing for B to have a much better reinforcement, as Simple plays probably the most dangerous spot at this current time in the round. This rotation ends up playing really well, as Simple then also comes back to B just as the site gets executed on, and Na'Vi just clean up their round with this site setup, placing Simple in the corner of bench to get an easy kill at low health, and cut off any advancement on the site until he goes down. This movement around the map is necessary when you begin to lose middle, as it is not just the B site getting stacked on that led to success on this round, but we can see how Na'Vi play off of this losing middle as Electronic has pushed ramp instead. This gives Simple time to rotate to CT if A was hit instead. What was especially great on the B site as well was the way Perfecto and Simple peaked at the same spot together but from different angles, really playing off each other well and solidifying this B hold, even with the poor health and guns. Let's take a look at some AWPing as well now. Here we can see a middle push out of Electronic, Simple and Bit. Electronic jumps out the window and heads top mid, as Simple and Bit supports him middle. Simple eventually finding a kill top mid not too long before peeking underpass because of the eco, in which he will find Hobbit as well. This setup, in tandem with Simple's AWP, is a great one if you expect an eco play out of middle, not letting the T set up or advance on any kind of eco strat and just shutting it straight down. We can see here that Simple is using Bit to get the first piece of contact before Electronic can face middle, taking the heat off of Simple so he can get any Ts coming out of top middle fast. These kills are super easy for Simple to collect, and then the underpass play I would not really recommend, but we are talking about Simple, and Simple does what Simple wants when they are 5-0. In round 7, we can see how much Simple moves about, playing safe, and how he swaps positions for more favourable fights, for what kind of aggression that he's expecting. Here, we can see that Simple is holding a very aggressive line against A ramp, after smoking off Palace. When he receives nothing out of it, he then heads over to watch underpass, where we can see Axile is gaining ground. As the smoke comes in for top connector, Simple pushes to try and catch Axile, but the timing does not work out. So, Boomich now mollies off ramp, and this allows Simple to rotate to CT, where he can pick and choose the duels coming in for the take. This repositioning is key for Simple's success in absolutely just stopping pushes. Simple finds Hobbit out ramp and holds for Shiro, picking and choosing between ramp and Palace. Unfortunately for Simple though, Boomich eats a disgusting flash out of Axile and in turns picks him off from Palace and follows up on getting Simple. This was actually a masterful round out of Gambit, but without that flash, I see Simple getting a few more kills here, because this position is the most ideal for an AWP at this moment in time with this take coming in. If he were to be jungle, then he could easily be swung from Connector and Palace, and CT he can individually peek Palace, ramp, and even go further and check Connector if he really wanted to. This selection of positioning is a masterful skill that Simple has got down and really helps him park the bus on any kind of T push when he's playing CT. For the rest of the game, he quietly gets kills on the rotation to sites like over on B on round 8, or on round 13, rotating in to find an easy kill on Axile. He is often finding early kills on his mid holds, for example when he makes the cat jump and can hold this aggressive line down middle, finding Nafany on round 12. But that was all there was to it. He would find himself just locking down positions, often not running into anyone, until his lockdown of mid leads to a sight read from one of his teammates, so he can then rotate in to support. Gambit did a really good job of avoiding him early in the round, but it doesn't matter, because with the teammates he's got, Simple still manages to rotate to the correct site and at least get one on the take. And if you thought this CT side was surprisingly quiet for Simple, the T side was much the same. Aside from a kill on the pistol round, the most action he got was actually on the final round, where he has the AWP and they do this fun boost over at A ramp for an early kill. This then leads to a B exec where he finds an aggressive apps push and gets the final kill on the retake, but this was still pretty quiet. Simple was there to get the early picks on CT, but Gambit didn't let them have it, so instead all he did was rotate and lock down any take that was coming in. He played discipline and patient on the CT side, often not pushing too crazy because this is a major after all, and to be honest, this insane performance was pretty boring, and I'm glad, because it allows Simple to boost his confidence with his stats and get him his well-deserved major. To summarise though, the main things to take away are that Simple rarely ever held top mid from the same position twice, and if he did, the supportive element around it had changed. He had aggressive peak mix-ups on apps, Palace and ramp, and would often move about on a teammate set of information regarding the Ts to set up his anchor and plant it. I hope you enjoyed this. Comment any suggestions below on what I should break down next, and just like it if you want more videos just like this. Don't miss out on any future uploads, so be sure to subscribe below, and I'll catch you in the next one.